best lovers I ever had. He knew how to please a woman, and he was very passionate. Christian said to me once that he had made love to a couple of Marlon's women.
A look inside the super-secret world of the Brandos from the woman who says she spent 9 steamy months in the arms of accused killer Christian Brando.
There was no one on the island. There were a lot of huts. We made love.
Beautiful Shirley Campanis saw the Christian nobody knew.
He was very careful when he spoke about his father. I think it was a love-hate relationship.
And she saw Marlon she never suspected.
He was flirting with me very heavily, so I finally just looked and I glared at him.
Inside the Brando clan.
She killed him because she says he was a miserable old bastard.
Mary Greco is accused of murdering her husband, Joe, because he did nothing but lie in front of the TV all night long.
Cold, calculated murder.
Cops say earlier efforts to get rid of down-in-the-mouth Joe backfired and turned a family plot into a comedy of errors.
She said he became very happy. He began laughing.
But the laughing died, and so did Joe, the couch potato killing. He's been portrayed as a dictator, a pig, and a buffoon.
I am the boss.
Now, this larger-than-life Texas mayor is in a showdown with a local cartoonist, and this town ain't big enough for the both of them.
I've had an anonymous call threatening my life.
Quick on the draw. Hello, everyone. I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Welcome to A Current Affair. We all like to just sit back and relax in front of the TV every once in a while. Nothing wrong with that. You're doing it right now. But there's a town where watching TV may have cost a man his life. Our John Johnston reports on the case they call the couch potato killing. In West Palm Beach, Florida, the sound of the surf is a serene serenade as those in their golden years sink into the sand walking the shore. For others, this picture of tranquility is a challenge as they race with the wind against the waves. But for Joe Greco, Florida was just a place to work, survive, and support his family. Joe was a maintenance man here at the Seagate Hotel in Delray Beach. At 52, he would plod off to the job, then after a long, hot day, come home and plop himself on the sofa in front of the TV, a kind of couch potato. He would lie there, sip his wine, and tune out everything else. Most of Joe's contact with the outside world came through his remote control. Once Joe hit the couch, he would call it a night until he went to bed. But this average Joe's routine apparently became deadly boring for his wife Mary and their 15-year-old daughter Ann. Late one night, after 27 years of marriage, police say Mary confessed that she quietly crept into the bedroom and put Joe out of her misery.
According to what Mary told me, she got in bed, got on her knees, was kneeling over him, and placed the gun right up to his head and shot.
Just cold, calculated, though.
Exactly what it was. Cold, calculated murder.
She and her mother just decided that the best thing to do was to put him out of his misery and kill him.
Put him out of his misery or put everybody out of their misery?
Put him out of his misery, and therefore this would make things better at home for the both of them.
The neighbors who knew Joe Greco say he wasn't the most sociable, but he was a pretty nice guy. He'd wave or stop and talk while walking down the street about his problems just like everyone else. But they maintain they never saw Joe Greco as the grouchy, miserable old couch potato that his wife and daughter make him out to be.
Sonia and David Cobran lived right across the street from Mary and Joe for 3 years. They say the Gricos were a little strange, but didn't appear miserable.
I mean, they weren't a loving, affectionate. You never saw, you know, Joe hug or touch or kiss his daughter or wife or anything like that, but you didn't see anything negative either.
I didn't really know him to be grouchy. He was, you know, he had, you know, some problems like, you know, everybody does now, and just he, you know, mentioned him a little bit more than most.
She stated that she did want to divorce him, and he told her he wouldn't allow a divorce. And she, in her mind, she killed him because she says he was a miserable old bastard.
Mary and Ann have another partner in this alleged crime, Ann's former boyfriend, Melvin Steele, who also lived in Joe's house. All three are now in jail, being held without bond, facing murder charges. Police say they plotted for weeks to kill Joe. In a confession, they admit they tried drugs before the gun, but the drugs backfired. Police claim Mary once stuffed a baked chicken with cocaine, and Ann slipped LSD in her dad's wine.
She said that they all sat back and watched, and she was hoping that he would have a heart attack and that the death would look more to be natural. She said he became very happy. He began laughing, and she said that was the happiest she's been in a long time, and that they sat around and they laughed together.
Laughing together was something that was almost unheard of in the Grieco family, according to Mary and Ann. But Joe's brothers find that hard to believe.
He was a good guy. As far as we knew, as a family man, he was a good guy. As our brother, he was a great brother. He never did anything
He
for
always
us.
tried to help me.
He was our big brother. We lost him to someone that just had absolutely no heart.
Mary has admitted she tried to make Joe's death look like a suicide. It was originally ruled that way. Police were suspicious, but Ralph and Ernest were convinced their brother didn't kill himself, especially when they arrived in Florida the day after his death.
No remorse at all. Everybody seemed to be rejoicing that he wasn't there anymore, and they could roam around and pretty much do what they were doing before we got there, which was partying and just having a good old time for themselves.
Ernest claims his brother's wife couldn't even fake the part of the grieving widow. He says he almost got sick when he walked in the bedroom where Joe had been killed.
Can you tell me where the bed is and stuff? And she said, well, I had Melvin cut the bed in half. I said, you had him cut the bed in half? She says, yeah. She says, I didn't want to give up my comfortable part of the bed, so I had him cut it in half. And I'm just shaking my head to myself and saying, what the heck?
Joe's brothers place most of the blame on Mary, but are baffled by Ann.
I'm very baffled. I am very baffled as to my client, age 15, how she found herself in this position, because there's no doubt in my mind that she loved her father very, very much.
There are going to be a lot of people that say she sure had a strange way of showing it.
Yes, there will be. But there's a fine line between love and hate, I presume.
Maybe one of the biggest mysteries about this alleged murder is the role of Melvin Steele. I mean, Joe was always good to him, gave him a place to stay, a roof over his head, helped him work on his car, even got him a job here at the Seagate Hotel and Beach Club. So what did Melvin have against Joe? Why did he want him dead?
He had no personal animosity towards him at all.
Then why did he want him dead?
He wanted to help out Ann and Mary.
Detective Barrow says Melvin Steele acted as if he was proud of his role in the alleged murder. In fact, if Steele would have kept his mouth shut, Joe Grieco's death may still be considered a suicide. Police wired one of Melvin Steele's buddies and caught him bragging on tape. When police confronted Mary, she confessed, but was not a mourning widow.
She wasn't weeping because of the fact that he was dead. She was weeping because it was, I guess it was just a load off of her mind that was finally over.
And that she was caught?
That would make me cry.
Mary, Ann, and Melvin may all be crying soon. For mercy, all three now face the death penalty.
All three of those accused murderers have pleaded not guilty. Their trial is set for March 1st. Now, when we come back.
And he said to me, honey, that was like going from one nightmare to the next.
The woman who says she spent 9 months as part of the Brando clan tells of Christian's agony and Marlon's appetite.
He'd order about a dozen and just loved to eat those hamburgers.
That's later. Also, a showdown in a Texas town as one man goes gunning for the larger-than-life mayor.